This conference will now be recorded.
What's going on? You already know who it is. Truths and Beliefs coming to you with another market update. Today is February the 5th. Time is 9:44 Eastern Standard. And we're going to see where the market is going from here. Are we back on the rise? Everything is green right now. But we know until we make higher highs or higher lows, it could all be a fake out. As we see right now, Bitcoin's coming in at 41K. Ethereum back to 3,000. Sold at 114. AVAX 78. BNB 419. So let's go ahead and actually I want to show some articles really quick before we jump in. So this article here, hodlers beware, new malware targets MetaMask and 40 other crypto wallets. With that being said, if you do not have a hard wallet such as a Trezor, Ledger, SafePal, it would be best to invest in one. Essentially, if you do have a lot of tokens, you want to have a hard wallet to take all of them offline in case anything happens. We know that all these solar flares and everything is going on. Who knows what can happen to the web? That's just one article I wanted to show. The next one we have here is the SEC introduces a Trojan horse crypto regulation as the price of Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, Solana, Cardano, XRP rebounds. You can go ahead and give this a read yourself as well. I'll drop it in the chat. Another funny, I wouldn't say it's funny, but crazy kind of article here. A Maryland man drugged his father to access his 400K in Bitcoin. Maryland man in his 20s spiked his father's tea with drugs in order to access his Bitcoin. That's crazy there. And also we have the news here. This Tampa Bay home is being sold as an NFT. This is considered potentially, who knows, the first property that's been sold, a house, I would say, that's been sold as an NFT. If you don't know, there was an apartment building that sold as an NFT, a condo, I would say. So, yep, this is the first actual home that's been sold. So let's go ahead and jump into these charts. You know, we have to start off with Bitcoin, of course. Where are we now? Let's find out. And I'll put the wicks back on really quick. So right now we can see that we got a big breakout from February the 4th, which brought us back to here in this area, which was, or considered is, an area of interest. I would consider a liquidity pool. As you can see, that price did bounce in its range for about 2 weeks. And then from there, it dropped out of this liquidity pool back down to levels of support. And then from there, we had a steady increase back up to the 20-day moving average. Didn't break through this time, broke back down to a level of support here and shot up, and now we're back in this liquidity pool. So what could we expect from here? We could expect Bitcoin to pull back to about 39K, almost 40K. That would be the level about right here, this green line here, and find support above the 20-day moving average. So as we can see, if we open it up even more, that we did make a higher low. So that does confirm that we can potentially make an uptrend. And as you see, the 20-day moving average is trending up as well. So the two options that we can see here is that Bitcoin consolidates in this area here. If not, the second option will be breaking back down and finding support at about $39,651. And as we look at the RSI, you can see that we are above the 45 level on the RSI, which is a sign that we're moving up. And also we have the positive momentum. I do see divergence here as well. Bullish that we have a lower low on price action and a higher high on the indicator. And I can pull this up to show you as well. See, we have a high, a higher low. That's right here. So we have a higher low and a higher high on the indicator. And that's actually bearish divergence, hidden bearish divergence. So we have a lower high and a higher high on the indicator. It's a sign of hidden bearish divergence. So as I mentioned, we can potentially see this pullback to the 39K area with Bitcoin. And then from there, we can reassess and see if we can hold that level. And then we take it one step at a time from there. Don't need to spend too much time here. And we can also look at the trend as well. Starting from here. Actually, no, that's not it. The trend line here. Actually, we can make it about right here. And you can see that in this area here, we did break above the trend, the downtrend, which is a sign that we're moving back up to an uptrend. And then as I mentioned, we can, until we see the back test of the trend, we can even use it. Let me get it. Let me just start it from right. Even right here, we can start it from right here. You can see that we did break out of this downtrend. And what mostly happens, we come back and test the support of the trend line. So even extending it back up here from the top of that price and zoom in, we can see that we can potentially come back and test levels down here and still move up. But we really want to hold this 39K area. And also you can look at this as the big descending triangle as well. Pull this up. From here, it's too far down. Actually, no, that's all the way down here. Yup. From here to here, and then measure about halfway through, we can expect or potentially see a breakout back up to about 55K, which is corresponding. I can just make the trend line, the horizontal line here. And so that would be my potential target for the next level on moving up. And I can clear all of this out and remove all these. Actually, let me open another BTC chart. Open it on this time. Remove these drawings and then just pull the Fibonacci out to show the levels based on the wicks. And you can see right now that we are right on the 236, which is the level of resistance right now to the upside. So until we break above and close above this 41, I would just say 42K, until we break above and close above 42K, that hidden bearish divergence will potentially play out. And then from there, we'll just take it each level at a time. The next level from there would be 46K, then 50K, then the 55K, which is corresponding to what I just measured from the other chart on BTC of the breakout. And you see, that's why I love TA, because you can see how things will work out. It could potentially play out. So that's what I have there for Bitcoin. Let's move on to Ethereum. Ethereum, it's a different story from Bitcoin. So let's remove that. Let's just start off looking at the trend. I guess we could say here. So we can see here that Ethereum has not even broken out of the downtrend yet. So what I could potentially see happen is, and let me pull back the indicators. You see, we do have a lot of positive momentum on the MACD. You see that we are above the 45 level on the RSI. But what I can potentially see happen is price running up to this previous level of resistance here at about $3,086. We can make a line here. And then from there, could be rejected and pushing back down to find support on the 20-day moving average, because we don't have any divergence on Ethereum right now. We just have a higher high, then a higher high, and also a higher high on the MACD. Then we have a higher high on price for the past 2 days, and then on the RSI is just making a higher high as well. So this level here coming in about, you can even pinpoint it to the exact. The low here was $3,057, and we're currently at $3,022. So when we get to this, and we can also see that we wicked high here, $3,063. So I would say that this 3,000 about 70. That is the level that we need to break above and close above. And then from there, we need to break out above this trend line, which also corresponds to the 50-day moving average, which is this orange line here. And that's coming in at $3,165. So until we make those closes above those resistance line, because the previous support here is now resistance, we need to break above that. And I will also pull out the Fibonacci to see the levels as well. And we can draw a descending triangle on here as well. Start from here. Fix this up. Yeah, I would say about not really a good descending triangle, but it could work potentially. And then we can measure the breakout, which will come back to about $3,773, which is where in September price didn't get higher than that, and then we consolidated in December around that level as well for a while. We can erase this and pull out the Fibonacci. Then I'll get into the coin requests. So using the Fibonacci, we can see that we are above the 236. And the next level, as I mentioned, is the 50-day moving average, which is almost corresponding with the 382, which is our next level of resistance. But first, we do need to get above, as I mentioned too, about 3,070 or 3,080. If not, we can just be rejected back down and find support here again at the 236, which is about 2,812, and the 20 moving average is corresponding with $2,844 right now. So that's what I see with Ethereum until we get some more closes. But this would have been a good opportunity to scalp and make some profit if you did make a trade. Personally, I don't encourage trading starting off, but if you know how to do it, you could have made with 25% on Ethereum. Bitcoin so far, you could have made about 17%. The biggest gain that I did see when I was looking over the list was Gala, which was about a 60% gain. It might be more right now. Yeah, it just went crazy again. And this is, well, yeah, about 80% now.
That's about to go crazy for the vaping nose shit.
Yeah, you know, they got them Gala nodes too. Them Gala nodes cost too.
Nah, they've invested our money in a gala nose, so we
Oh,
basically on.
yeah. Yeah, you can see that. We definitely need for Gala. Just looking at this really quick. Price is currently at 34 cents. And we can see that we broke above all of the moving averages. So now all we need to do, even just looking at a line, which is line graph, which is easier, we need to hold above the 50 and the 100-day, which are both coming in at 29 cents. So you can expect to pull back on Gala to it. If anything, 29 cents. And if it can't hold 29 cents, coming back down to the 20-day moving average again. But this will be the time, in my opinion. It's not financial advice. I need to say this. I'm not a financial advisor, nor am I fiduciary. Anything I say or show is for educational purposes only. Please do your own research. But Gala this may be the last chance to hop on this train here. We can see that I call this the train station when we have consolidation. We consolidated from January 22nd all the way until February 5th. And then the train took off. And most people want to try to hop on the train after it took off, but you should have got on when it was loading and the doors were opening. So we'll go ahead and hop into these coin requests. I believe the first one I can remember off the top of my head was Soul, so I'll look at that first.
Hey, look at Cody for me, cause I might get back in that jump.
I got you. So looking at Sol right now did break out, and it is. Let me actually pull the indicators up. So Sol right now didn't get back into the get in level, and this is all on a daily. We did cross over to 45, but I would like to see at least 2-day closings above the 20-day moving average before anything else happens. So we did get 1 day, it's 2 days. I would like to see at least 2 more days of closing above the 20-day moving average. That will confirm that we are holding this price here, which is the previous support from January 21st. And I can draw a line to show that as well. Corresponding here. So we could potentially pull back a few, I would just say about $2. Find support at about 112. Consolidate as we did. Not really, we kind of consolidated here between this period. Consolidate for a few. Get more people in with interest. And then move up from there in price. And I could also, let's see, a trend we did. We could put up a trend line on Sol as well. Could the trend start from here? We can start the trend line from here. And then we can see that we did break out of the downtrend that started from this trend on December 27th. What essentially I can see is either we hold 112 or come back and back test the trend, which is coming in about 104. So that's what I can see happening here. I don't see any divergence on the MACD or the RSI on the daily. We can look at the 4-hour. And on the 4-hour, we can see that the 20-day moving average is coming back up and crossing over the other moving averages. So on the 4-hour, I can see a pullback happening to 109, which is currently the 20-day moving average. If not, as I mentioned too, we can hold this level here at 112 and keep pushing up. But I do see, pardon me, I see weakening positive momentum on the 4-hour after a gain of about, 20%. So that's what I see happening here. And we can also look at it on a weekly. On the weekly, we can see that negative momentum is slowly weakening and that we're trying to come back up above the get out level, which the last time it was under this level was December 28th, 2020. And things can't run forever. And that's the whole point of TA, to identify where we can make entry points. Just pulling back up the line. As I mentioned too, like the 50-day moving average on the weekly is 109, and that's corresponding to the 20-day moving average. What was that on the daily? That was on the 4-hour. That was on the 4-hour. Yep. So 109 on the 4-hour. So on a week, you just pull the candles back up. So starting off on Monday, I would like to see so above 109. If not, we could potentially move down even further. The next level I see on the week would be $71 because we're already here at this support, which is coming in about $94, and the next level support on the week will be $71.99. When you see that 99, that's when you know it's a sale in the store and retail wise. Moving on to near. Hope this is helpful here. That's all I see. Actually put a Fibonacci out as well for. So, but doing here, you can quickly identify how price is potentially going to move just looking at the moving average. Like you can see the moving averages for the 20 days going down until we get a price hold above that point. That's how you can gauge it. So put in the fib really quick. Blow this back up. We can see that until SOL actually reaches one. Actually, let me start it from here. Let's see what it makes a difference. So starting from here, we can see that SOL almost wicked to the 119 area. So I would say that personally that price will go back down, because I see that on the 5th, SOL wicked up almost touching the 119, didn't make it, which is the 236, and now that it's currently playing as resistance, is now trying to find support. But if we can't break above the 236 level and hold, then we can move up to the upside. But I also see that the 50-day moving average is crossing down, which will come in as resistance as well, and that's 133, and that will keep pushing price back down. So that's what I see starting from there. And if we pull the fib to the all-time high, we can see that 123 now becomes the resistance. So as I mentioned again, we can find support above this 20-day, push up to 123 and still get rejected down because the 50 is moving down, and then the other moving average could potentially cross down. But we'll see what happens from there. We find a close and hold above that 123, then we can potentially move forward. So moving on to near. And near is in the uptrend. So this is one of the few tokens that really hasn't been affected. It depends on when you got in personally. We can just start off. Actually, I do want to blow it. Actually, let me set this right here. So currently on the daily, we can see that near is coming back up to that 55 level, which is the sign to get in. We can see that we have positive momentum on the MACD, and the 55 on the RSI is the sign personally for me to get in. On price, we can see that on February 5th, we wicked down to the 20-day moving average, and from there moved up a level. Now looking at a line chart, you can see that it bounced off the 50 and is now headed back up. We had consolidation between, let's look at it on the candles. That consolidation between January 23rd to the 4th as well with the breakup. And then we can look at the trend, overall trend of how near has been moving. Starting from here, you can see that near has been holding this uptrend. So until near breaks below, and we can also see that the 20-day moving average is above all of the other moving averages, and it's been that way since August the 16th. And you can correspond that with, let's see here, really it started off July the 29th. That's when we crossed above, I would say July the 29th, but 28th. That's when we crossed above the 55 on the RSI. And as I mentioned, that's the get in level. And from there, you can see that price continuously ran up, and we didn't cross below the 45 get out level until November 18th. And if you would have got out during that time, November 18th, that was about a 30% correction. But the entire run starting off from the 29th to November 18th was a gain of about 500%. It depends on when you got out. So I would say 500% in 110 days. And that's why I like to use that method there. And now you can see that we did break back above the 55 again on December the 9th. And then came back below again on January 20th. But personally, in my opinion, as soon as we cross below the 55, I get out at that point. Capping, saving more gains, so we can even measure this move here from December 9th to about what, January 18th. That's another 133% gain. Put it together, that's about almost 620% gain if you play it right. And so from here, you can pull out the Fibonacci and see where we are going from here. Zoom all the way in. And this is based on the wick. I usually like to do wick and body, but lately it's been looking like a lot of wick movement has been going on. We can use both. So from here, the next level that near needs to close above is 1376. We're currently at 1341. So within, before the week ends, on the new week begins on the 8th, I would like to see near close above 1376. And we can see that's coming in basically at the previous resistance here, which is previous support, my bad. Previous support, which is now resistance, which came in from December 24th, January 8th. We see we got almost some wicks down on the 3rd. So I would like to see price get above here, consolidate again, and then we continue to move higher from there. Next spot will be 15, then 16, then 18, then 20. And then once we beat 20, next level will be $27. And we can even just look at the straight body movement of where price closes. So just looking at the body, you can see that price is above the 236. And it's corresponding almost exactly. The 236 is 1264. Right now, the 20-day moving average is coming in at 1259. I just seen it 1260. So any closings above the 236 will continue to uptrend, and we can see that price is increasing right now as we look, and that we will push up And we can see the crossover is happening with the 20. So we want to see this crossover, the 20-day moving average, and keep moving up. Next spot is 14. And we can see that we're climbing the 14 right now. Let's put the wicks back on. Let's see what's happening on a lower time frame really quick. So on the hour chart, I would say before the 7th or 8th, we will potentially see price get to that level here, 14. But will it get rejected? And on the 1 hour, we can also see that the 20-day moving average, as soon as the 20-day moving average crossed over, move this up. As soon as we crossed over the 20-day moving average, crossed over the 50 and the 200-day, price shot up. And you can look at that on the RSI as well. So as soon as we got above that 55 level on the hour chart, and that was February 4th. The start time, February 4th, 00 UTC time. Price has been moving up since then. So that's what I see for near. Looking at it on a weekly. You can see on the weekly, things are just rolling. And all that's been happening is, let's remove everything, is that price has just been back testing the 20-day moving average and coming slightly below it and then moving on higher. And we're still above the 45 level on the weekly. But I do see weakening positive momentum. So as I mentioned, if we can't break above this previous support here, about 13, on the weekly, you can potentially see price come down to about, I would say, 9, 10, which is corresponding with the 200-day moving average. But on the daily, we don't see that. We see that price did consolidate here for a while. And we are coming in with positive momentum. So we'll see how that plays out. And the last token request, let me look really quick. AMP. Let's look at AMP really quick. Gemini. Let's get the one from Binance. So AMP is in a downtrend. It didn't even break above the 20-day moving average. All it did was wick above. And this is on the daily. Still below the 45 level. It never was above the 55-day level. That's actually, see what that other chart was looking like in Gemini. So here we do have more data on Gemini. So let's take a look. And really, AMP has been in a big consolidation trend. We can show this by pulling out the rectangle. So price is having a hard time breaking above the first wick up from February 2021. So now we can remove that. Basically, we just need to close above 3 cent, the price that is at right now. Let's put up the line. And you can see that we need to close above 0.032377. And until that happens, I don't see an uptrend for AMP. So potentially all that can happen here is that AMP comes up and tests and just pushes back down. Yep, that's what I see. We can look at the indicators as well. It's still positive momentum, but I don't see any divergence. And this is a bad chart, in my personal opinion. So really nothing to see from AMP. We can also pull out the Fib just to get a gauge of what can happen here. So basically, until AMP closes above 4 cent, 0.046 cent, I wouldn't even see an uptrend happen anytime soon, because first we need to get above all of these moving averages, close above the 20, and then we need to see the 20 cross over the 50 and take it one step at a time before we even get to the Fib levels. And that's what I see in the market. That's all. Let's just take a quick look at what else is happening right now. So we can see that Crow, remove this, coming in at 44 cent. It did get rejected by the 50-day moving average. Now next support would be 43 cent. And then you can just look at charts really quick by doing this. And then what else do we see? What's up right now? I know I said Gala. Sand did break above the moving average. We can see that the 20-day moving average is crossing up. And we did cross above the 55 on the RSI. So for sand, it would be good to see a close. Let's look at the bar candles. Yep, there we can see that sand did open above the 50-day moving average and pushed up further. So I would like to see another close above the 50-day, and then from there, price can move up. And I already had this resistance level coming in here at $5, so we need to break above that to continue the uptrend. Let's look at Rune. Same situation. It did close. It did open above. Now, this day just started. We're only 3 hours into this new trading day here. I should have mentioned that for everything. So basically, the next 21 hours, 20 hours, we need to get a close above all these moving averages. It wouldn't need. I just run back over. So in the next 21 hours, near needs to close above 12 cent. It really, yeah, 12.9. And then so I just run back through all the token requests. And then so we can remove this. Needs to close above 111 next 21 hours. And let's look at, I forgot Cody. Let's look at Cody real quick. So I did have something for Cody here. So Cody right now is back in this, I would say, demand zone, because we can say that people did find interest here and then price shot up. And then after that, came back down into this interest, price shot up again, went below. Now we're finding buys again, so price can potentially shoot back up, and we can see that. Let's even just remove this. And let's turn on the lines. So Cody is actually being rejected by the 20-day moving average. So right now, I can see price going back down to at least 29 cent. Let's put these candles back on. I don't see any, do I see divergence? So a lower low and a higher high. Lower low, higher high, that is hidden bearish. As I mentioned, you can go back down to 29 cent. Lower high and a higher high on the indicator. So yep, you can see, let me actually draw that out so you can see. Take these wicks off. So we have a lower, slightly, you have to zoom all the way in to see it. A lower high. And then we had a higher high. On the indicator. So that's what I see for Cody, is price still in the downtrend. But let's pull out the fib and see where we can go from here. It's based off the body. So right now we would want to see in the next 21 hours, we need to see Cody close above 30 cent to get back in the game. And then from there, we would need to see price get back up to 32 cent. And price action is a magnet. It's always attracted to the last high of the price. So the first attraction point would be this 31 cent, but it can easily be rejected here because coming back to even December 5th and 6th, that was a level of support, which will now become a level of resistance, which is the 32 cent area. And as I mentioned, we need to get above 31 cent, and the 50-day moving average is coming at 32 cent. So that's what we can see. I hope you all find this helpful. I just want to bring this back up again. Grab a hard wallet. I just even put up the websites to show you Ledger. Order it from the website. Do not get it off Amazon. It's your money. Own it until you actually take it off of these centralized platforms. You do not own your tokens. They own custody of your tokens unless they have an external DeFi wallet, and it's still in danger. So we have the Ledger. We have the SafePal. Well, SafePal has a stock. I didn't know that. Take a look at that later. We have the SafePal here, which is the easiest to use, I would say, and the most user-friendly because of the bigger screen. Take a look at the SafePal. And they have the Trezor wallet. The safe place for your coins. Over 1,000 tokens that you can store here. Go offline. Store your coins. So yeah, please, for your own sake, get a hard wallet. Take everything offline because who knows what could happen. And I'll end it here. Hope you enjoy the rest of your strong game. We do not do weekends. And I hope you find this helpful as well, and that you are in great health, you and yours. Peace out. Actually, before I go, anybody have any questions? I guess not.